Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of White Coat Chronicles with me, Tori. So, this is getting posted a little later than I wanted it to this week, but I was sick, or maybe they were allergies. I don't know. I still kind of have it right now. It's just like the back of the throat feeling where you feel the sickness coming on, but for me, it's just like lingered, and my energy has been at like 75%. It's a really weird way of describing it, but that's how I always like gauge how I'm feeling when I'm starting to get sick. I'm like, do I really feel like I could do everything that I normally do? And the answer is no. And the poor podcast episode suffered, but here we are now. It is Tuesday, April 22nd. It's like 7:30 at night. And if you've missed out on the last episode, give it a listen so you could catch up. But we quit our job, and from the title of this episode, maybe you can tell we'll be talking about what I'm doing jobless and with very little to do, and how I'm dealing with that as a very type A person that always needs to be doing something. Something a lot of pre-meds can probably relate to because it's kind of just built into how we are. So here we go. First off, some updates, of course. I have some really interesting ones this time around. So I got back from Washington, D.C. this past week. I went with my dad for like a quick little impromptu trip. It's something I've been wanting to do for a minute, and my dad's been in the United States like his entire life, and he hasn't been yet either. So we were both like, this is a time, let's go. Everyone says this is the most beautiful time in Washington, D.C. with all the cherry blossoms. I will say we were about like a week late to actually seeing the cherry blossoms in full bloom. There were some like lingering, but most were gone. But that was okay because all of the trees were in bloom, and it was like getting a little sneak peek into spring before it's reached New York. So it was really nice. We took the bus down from New York, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad drive. It was about 5 hours, and it went by really quick, actually. Definitely would do it again because it's just so cheap, and it's the way to go if you don't really care about your comforts and stuff. The trip basically consisted of waking up around like 8, getting out, and just hitting the museums I really wanted to see. We went to a couple Smithsonian museums. We went to the Museum of American History and then the Museum of Natural History, which was definitely the highlight of my whole trip. I loved that museum. I loved the human origin like section of it. Oh, it was just so cool and really interesting from like a medical standpoint, because there were just a lot of interesting things I was reading about how humans, I mean, we weren't meant to truly be standing on two legs our whole lives. So that's why a lot of people have low back issues as we get older. And it was just really cool to see all the research that went into studying our evolution. But yeah, so museum hopping, good food. I reached out to one of my friends from college who lives right outside of DC for some good food recommendations. So we had some good dinners and good lunches. And it was really nice to honestly just spend quality time with my dad in a different setting. Another one of the highlights I would say is going to the Lincoln Memorial at night. Like after I like took a nap, and then we went to dinner and had a couple drinks and walked. It was kind of far. It was like almost 2 miles from our hotel. Walked to the Lincoln Memorial, but it was like a tipsy, fun walk. And I like didn't tell my dad where we were going. So it was fun. Really recommend seeing the Lincoln Memorial at night. It's just a different vibe. It's so cool. And yeah, other than that, I've kind of just been waking up, working out, finding stuff to do, occupying my time with doctor's appointments because I'm psychotic, and I don't know why, guys. I like love going to the doctor. I just feel like I have my shit together after I like go to all my doctor's appointments. Definitely was like kind of annoyed at some of my doctors because I don't know. Now, like the more I learn about going to this profession, like the more I see in my own doctors, and some of it's great and some of it's not the best. Just in terms of like how they treat the patients, just the whole like get in, get out really quick. It just sucks to see, but I know it is what it is. This weekend, I had a really wholesome walk on the beach with my three and my big doggy. Got some catching up time in, and then I saw another friend, Gabby, in the city for dinner. And of course, the dinner turned into more than that, and we went out, met up with some people, and basically, I will say I didn't get home till like 7:45 in the morning. I'm not proud of it, and maybe that's why I'm sick. Honestly, it probably is. My body can't handle like me not sticking to routine. So there's that. Okay, high low piccolo time. Hi, this week, what I was just talking about is definitely going to DC. Really just like starting off my jobless era well. Traveling, even if it's close, is what I wanted to do. So I'm really, really happy I did that. Low, I think, is meeting someone this weekend, thinking something of it, and then receiving nothing from it, which I'm just going to leave that there. But this is why I'm just not in the dating world, guys, not there yet. Piccolo this week it's pretty interesting, this Piccolo. Tori got pickpocketed in Washington, D.C. So let's get into it. Basically, it was my last day there, Friday, and our plan was kind of just to get like a late lunch at 3 and then catch our bus back to New York at like 5:36. So we went to this place that was recommended, and it was so good. It was called El Presidente. It's like a Mexican place. And this day was super nice in DC. There was everyone sitting outside, and the vibes were great. Margarita in hand, chips and guac coming out. So most of the people in this restaurant were sitting outside. But my dad doesn't like sitting outside when it's hot, so we sat inside. And no one was sitting inside the restaurant except this one table like in front of us. And then the rest of the restaurant inside was empty. So I had a yellow crossbody bag, and I put the bag on my chair. And the bag has like 2 magnetic compartments. And then in the middle of those 2, there's a zipper compartment. And I didn't bring my whole wallet on this trip. I just took out the cards that I thought were necessary and just like kept them in the zippered compartment because, I don't know, that's safe, Tori thought. So I feel like someone just like bumped into my chair, and I look back and there was 2 women sitting behind us, and I kind of just like took my bag off the chair into my lap. I'm like, oh, sorry, like just thinking like, oh, they probably just like bumped into my bag, like let me take it off. Wasn't really thinking that there was like no one else in the restaurant. I don't know why they sat there. Server didn't seat them. Hostess, I guess you would call it. They were just like sitting in the table behind us. So I'm holding my bag, and me and my dad keep talking, and I'm just like, oh, like I hope they're not offended. I just like took my bag and like put it in my lap, like thinking they're trying to like do something. I just thought they bumped into it. I was being rude, but whatever. This is just my brain going into different thoughts. So my dad is the one that's facing them. My back's towards them. And I hear them just like get up and leave. And then I ask my dad, I'm like, what just happened? He's like, I don't know. That woman just like looked at me really weird. Like who was that girl that just took her bag? Like, how dare she? Whatever. So we keep talking, and then I just open my bag. I don't know. I don't even know, guys. I open my bag and everything's there. Then I open the zipper compartment, and all of my cards are gone. Now, let me just tell you, I had my New York ID. I had my Bucknell student ID because I was just like, I don't know if there's student discounts here. Like, maybe I should just bring my college ID and try to, like, finagle something. So I brought that. I brought a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. And then I brought my debit card and credit card. And they were all gone. So I look at my dad. I'm just like, oh, my God, my cards are gone. And it was just so weird. It took like a couple seconds to process. Like we just were like staring at each other. And then he finally breaks the silence and he's like, go, like run. And I'm like, oh my God. So I run out of the restaurant with my bag and I see these two ladies on the street because this restaurant's like on the street with people sitting outside on the street. And I'm like, wait. And they stop. And I'm like, I don't know what made me say this. It was literally all instinct, like no thoughts went into this, but I was just like, hi, I think I dropped something out of my purse and I knew you guys were behind us. Like, do you mind seeing if you found anything? And the woman's like, oh yeah, I think I did find some cards or something. I'm like, yeah, they actually, I think they dropped. Would you mind like checking your bag if you have them? And she's like, sure. So she's going through her bag and she's like pulling out this wax stuff, guys. Just, yeah, the vibe, we knew. It was so weird because, like, she knew I knew. I knew she knew that I knew. And my dad explained it as, like, a tongue-in-cheek conversation. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But just, like, when both parties know, but no one's acknowledging it. So she is just searching through her bag. She's like, I don't know. Let me see. And then pulls out the stack of my cards. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's them. Yeah, I think they must have dropped out of my bag. My bag was zippered and fully closed, by the way. But I take the cards and I'm like, thank you so much. And I go through my cards, but I see that they're all there except my debit card. And when I was talking to my dad about this, he's like, I'm just surprised you even like checked your cards. Like most people would be so frazzled and just like take the cards, put it in your bag and leave. But I don't know, guys. So I'm like, oh, I'm still missing one card, my debit card. And she's like, I have nothing. Like, do you want to check my bag? What are you saying? I'm like, no, I don't want to check your bag. I don't want to do that. I'm just saying, like, I still can't find one of my cards. So we're kind of just like standing, and her second woman, she looks at her and she's like, did you see anything? And the woman's like, no, I didn't see anything. I don't have anything. And I'm like, oh, that's so weird because all of my cards were together. Like, I really don't think this one could have went missing. I checked the restaurant and just kind of back and forth, like bullshit. And the woman basically says to her partner, I'll call her, just give it to her. So the woman's like, I don't have it. And she's like, whatever her name was, just give it to her. So she opens up her little crossbody and pulls out my singular blue debit card. And I take it and I'm like, thank you so much, and walk back into the restaurant. Now, everyone in the restaurant was sitting outside. Like, majority of the people were sitting outside. And, like, whenever me and my dad walked back in, like, you could just see everyone staring. Does anyone ask, are you okay? What happened? No. Nope, they don't. I don't know if they would do that in New York, but something in me tells me that they would. But they didn't in DC, and they were just like, no one like said anything, and we just went back to sitting, and like our main course didn't come out yet, and me and my dad are just like staring at each other, and we're just like, what? And I'm like, I'm literally shaking, Dad. He's like, I know, that was crazy. And we basically just looked at each other. We're like, we can't like eat now. Like, let's just leave. This is crazy. So I get our waitress. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was just pickpocketed. I got everything back, but like, we just have to leave. I'm so sorry. Like, I know we put in our orders already. And she's like, wait, what? Let me get the manager. The manager came down and she's like, what happened? Do you want to file a police report? And me and my dad were like, no, like, honestly, no. We got the cards back. We have to catch a bus. We know how long that's going to take. And no, we don't want to do a police report, but the manager was super, super accommodating and nice. And she was like, don't worry about this. And we didn't pay for anything. We just left a tip for the waitress and dipped. And I don't know, like, I don't want to be dramatic about this. Like, nothing like this has ever happened to me before. And I feel like I'm in New York City every weekend. And like, New York City is not much safer than DC, but I'm just surprised like nothing like this has happened to me yet. I feel like I've been in situations and have even put myself in situations late at night where this would happen, but it hasn't. Such a random place for it to happen. But I was just like bugged out. I was so nervous. My bag was like on me, in my hands the rest of the trip. And yeah, it was something else, but we lived through it. Not gonna lie, very proud of how I handled it. I don't really know why I did it like that, but something in me just told me to go about it that way and not like approach these women and be like, you stole my stuff, you stole my stuff. Like, I don't know. It worked and I got my stuff back. Thank God, because I would hate to have to go through the whole process to cancel everything, and no one wants to do that. So, yep, here we are. Of course this happens to me. Of course. So, yeah, that's my piccolo for this week, guys. I'm just laughing. I'm laughing. But anyway, let's get on into the episode and talk about what it's like being bored and having nothing to do as a type A person. So in my head, I feel like there's always something to do. That's just how my brain works. I will find something to do even when there's not anything to do. But I think the first step in adjusting to this period, which I'm not like trying to be dramatic. Like I have a couple months before I start med school. I'm enjoying this time, but just like day to day, there are struggles sometimes, just not having your kind of safety blanket routine, getting up at a certain time, having something to do with your whole day, getting home at a certain time, going to bed at a certain time. So where I kind of started was just getting up later. I am naturally a morning person. I don't know what makes one a morning person, but for me, I just find that it feels so good to be up with the sun when the sun rises. And in this kind of like selfish way, I feel like being up before other people just leads me to be more productive. I don't know. But what I am trying to practice this kind of like time off is getting up later. And I don't know if that comes out like wrong, like, oh, I'm trying to practice getting up later, but it actually is hard for me. My body is like on a time clock, and I've been waking up at like 5:30 for work Monday through Thursday. And when I try to sleep in on the weekends, it just never really works out. So I am now trying to get up around 8, 9, 10. Today I got up around, what time did I get up? Like 9 or 10, because I had therapy at 11:45, so I'm like, oh yeah, I got up at 10. I had therapy around 11:45, and I was just like, let me just have that be the first thing that I do. Old Tori would be like, okay, 11:45, wow, we have a whole day before we have therapy. But I don't know, I'm just trying to practice getting more sleep, and it truly has like made a difference thus far, because I would literally be able to take a nap. Like if someone just told me like, okay, sit down and sleep, I would be able to sit down and sleep. And I saw this thing that like, if you can fall asleep in less than 5 minutes and you're sleep deprived, like I guess that was me. But I don't really understand, because I would go to bed at like 10:30 and wake up at 5:45, so I'd get a decent amount of hours, but I would still be so tired and always be willing to take naps. But within these past couple weeks, like no naps, unless I felt I wanted one, but like I just felt like I needed them less. And it's hard though, because if any of you guys know, especially for women, when we wake up, our cortisol is at its highest. And that's for most people, but especially for women. And for me, I feel like my cortisol is high. And I wake up kind of in this like state of panic a lot of the times, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go do something. I have to get out of bed. So I'm training my brain to be like, okay, let's snooze the alarm, give ourselves 10 minutes to kind of like stretch and slowly get out of bed. And obviously not every day is like this. It just depends on what has to be done or what I have scheduled, any appointments or anything like that. But that has been a struggle, but something I am embracing and trying to do as much as I can during this time off. And I do feel way more rested. The next biggest thing for me has been just moving my body. I've always been into working out and exercising, walking, dancing. I was a dancer in my past life. Now, when I was younger, I actually grew up doing ballet when I was really young. And then I did Irish dance for a really long time. And then I started watching Dance Moms, and I was like, that's what I want to do. So I switched to like contemporary jazz, hip hop, point, and did like a performance team for a little bit. And I wanted to continue that in college, but it never worked out. But basically, with that being said, I've always been into like moving my body, and that's something I prioritize every single day unless I'm just not feeling it or my body's telling me we're not doing anything today. We're resting. But I've just kind of been taking my workouts, I don't want to say more seriously, but just kind of like going to the gym and being more present and not just like, okay, this is my stress relief after work. Let's get in what we can and then leave so we can go home and sleep. Like now it's more of an event for me, let's just say. I still drive to my gym where I used to work, which is like 30 minutes away, but that's just because I'm waiting for my membership to expire. I think it'll expire in May if I did the whole removal process right. But yeah, just kind of making a whole event out of working out. And now, since it's getting nicer out, it really does feel like spring. I've been like doing like an hour workout at the gym, and then I come home, do my thing, and then go on a walk like in the evening, which I love. And I just listen to a podcast because I'd always listen to podcasts commuting to work, and I loved that. I got super into podcasts, and it's honestly what made me want to start this podcast, just how much I loved listening to others. So that's kind of my time to like catch up on my podcast or call anyone if I want to talk to someone. Next thing is caring about what I eat more. And this is not in like oh, let's like be healthier now. No, it's not that. It's just enjoying the act of eating and cooking my own meals and sitting down and being present and taking my time chewing and all like the silly things like that. Whenever I worked, like most people, I feel like food kind of comes second. I don't know. Obviously, like not everyone can relate to that, but for me, it was just like, I don't want to waste time in the morning, like sitting down and eating breakfast, like everything's to go. Lunch, for me, there wasn't a microwave. It was only in the fridge. We only had a fridge, so it was like, okay, like just whatever I could put in the fridge and eat. And then dinner was kind of just like whatever my family made. And that actually led me into eating meat again, because I was just like, I'm not going to make a whole other meal whenever I get home from work. If a meal's already made, like, of course I'm just going to eat that. But now I just have more freedom, I think, to cook what I want, eat what I want, and really enjoy everything. I have a whole like saved playlist or album. I don't even know what you'd call it on Instagram, but just have so many recipes I want to try. And I've been doing this like forever, but I just never really acted on them and made them. But now I have more time to. So I'm really enjoying the act of enjoying food, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Planning things is my next. Love to plan things. I feel like I used to be such a planner in high school. I would always want things to like look forward to. And then in college, I guess I was kind of like that too. But post-grad, I don't know, like the planner part of me just disappeared. I'd kind of just let plans fall into place. And as bad as this is to admit, I just let other people make the plans and just attend wherever I'm asked to attend to. But now I have the time to like sit with myself and think, okay, what do I want to do? What am I going to look forward to? And for me, it's concerts. I have a lot of EDM things I want to do. There is a concert in the Hamptons this summer. I want to go to that and see Fisher. We were thinking of going to Lala. I want to say Lollapalooza. Lollapalooza. This is so bad. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but my friends always make fun of me for not pronouncing things right. So I'm just going to call it Lala. Wanted to do that, but our whole reason for going to Lala was seeing Rufus Du Sol. My friend group has this like little thing where we love Rufus. We listen to Interbloom every time we go out. We sing it in the line to get into the club, and we just love them. So we were going to go to Lala in Chicago because two of my college friends, like their boyfriends, live in Chicago. So it would have worked out really nice. But the main thing was because Rufus is playing. So we're going to see him. But where Sophia and Gabby live in the city, their apartment complex has this like website where people post things, what they're selling, or like recommendations, this and that. And someone posted Rufus tickets for $120. They are now like close to $400. So we snagged those a couple of days ago, and I'm so excited. Love them. Oh my goodness. So just like before I get off on a rampage about Rufus du Sol, I am really enjoying having things to look forward to, little trips, dinners, all of that stuff. When you don't have a job, like means when you don't have a job. I still feel like I'm so new to this, but whenever you have a lack of like routine or anything in your life, whenever you have things planned, especially with friends, families, loved ones, it's a lot. It's just like more fun, in my opinion, because you have more time to kind of have that build up. Like, for example, vacations. I feel like when I was super busy in college for spring break, like everyone was so excited and like getting stuff from Shein. And I was just like, waited to the last minute to pack, like never truly experienced the excitement that makes up the whole beauty of going on a trip, is the excitement leading up to it. And now I feel like I'm really embracing the excitement leading up to plans, which just occupies your mind even more. So yeah. And I guess that just kind of leads me into how I've been romanticizing the little things. Like, I don't know, I sound silly, but just seeing the flowers blooming on the trees, the little things happening, being able to drink my coffee in the morning, listening to the birds chirp, and just having complete control over your schedule, which I probably won't ever have again after this time. And it's hard to really wrap my head around. And when I talk to people about it, they're like, enjoy this time of relaxing, because you're never going to get this time back. And like, I know, I get it. It's just easier said than done when like you're in this position. Part of me just wants to start med school already, but romanticizing the little things makes a big difference. Like, even like if I have a dinner planned with someone, like I'll plan my outfit for like an hour. Okay, maybe not an hour, but like I'll take time with like my outfit. I'll give myself time to do my makeup, just like being a girl, like really embracing being a girl. I've been loving, because I feel like I'm not like a big makeup fan. Like I do makeup if it's necessary. I don't do makeup every day, but like just taking my time to figure out how to do my makeup better, my hair better, and just like growing into myself as a young woman. I guess that's fun too. Making my space nice has also been fun to do, and just like occupying. I have so much random stuff in my room and in my garage. Like I have a whole bucket of stuff from college that I still just like refuse to unpack because I'm sad about it. I don't know. I just have a lot of different things to go through. I've had like certain makeup from high school, like different products that I haven't gotten rid of, just like spring cleaning, but to a different level. Getting rid of stuff from your past that you just like don't need anymore. That's been nice and definitely occupying, and something you could do while like playing a show in the background. Or for me, I like put on my headphones and listen to music, and it's a vibe. I also think having a good book makes all the difference. Maybe not for everyone if you're not super into reading, but I'm gonna wrongfully assume that if you're here, you might like reading. So for me, I think I said this in the last episode, I am reading A Court of Mist and Fury. It's the series of A Court in Thorns and Roses, and it's like, it's a fat one. She's big and hefty, and it's just like nice. I don't know, weird mindset shift, but when books were really big, it would like stress me out, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm never getting through this. But in this time period and era of my life, I love how big A Court of Mist and Fury is, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so into this right now and I still have more. It's like if you're getting close to the end of a really good TV show and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to finish it. But like with this book, it's like, I know it's going to take me a minute to finish this. So it's been nice. And it's something to do to like avoid just if you have like a couple minutes or a couple hours here and there, and like for lots of people, maybe you would just like scroll on your phone. For me personally, being on my phone for a long time just stresses me out, like for no reason. Like I don't have TikTok. I mean, I have the app, and like when my friends send me TikToks, I can like watch it in the app, but I don't actually use it. Like my For You page doesn't know me, and probably for the best. Instagram Reels is good enough for me. But side note, I don't know why I never got into TikTok. Everyone tells me I would like love it and I should make TikToks, but like, no, it's too late. It's too late for that. But anyway, it's nice to have a book to kind of take you away if you have a couple hours in the day or just like some downtime to sit and read, especially now that it's getting nicer out. You could do it outside. However, though, I used to literally last like spring, summer season, I would like be a fiend for the sun. If it was sunny out, if the UV was above like 5, I would not be going inside. If I did go inside, it would be like to pee or get water. But ever since I went to this like medical aesthetics place and I got a photo of my face that showed me like the different levels of my skin and like the skin or the sun damage, like it's bad. Like I've gotten some bad burns, and my mom, who's from Ireland, has always told me like, Tori, you have the Irish skin, be careful, put sunscreen on. And I'm like, no, I want to be tan. And it's hard because my little sister has like my dad's Italian skin, so like she gets a really nice tan. And I always just wanted to be tan, and now my opinion on that has shifted completely. You will not catch me in the sun, even today. Like at 5 o'clock when I went on my little hot girl walk, I had a hat on, like just in case. Just in case. I just don't want to get like wrinkles, and I've done my research and like see people that are in the sun compared to people that aren't, and you just age so much quicker. We've been known this, the sun is bad. The sun is bad for you, but if you're not at that stage yet and love sitting in the sun, I know that would like literally take up my entire day, and that could be another fun thing to do. And I guess the last thing is just spending time with friends and family. For me, my family is such a big part of my life. First off, because I live with them, and, you know, you just see them all the time. Like any time in your life, whoever you live with really does become a big part of your life if you do get along. And for my family, my mom works nights and my dad works like early mornings, like 5 to like 11 or 12. And so he's either home or my mom's either home. And I always have someone here. My sister's always home at 3. Her boyfriend's always here after. And it's just kind of nice because I feel like I'm never like truly alone when I'm home alone in quotation marks. There's always someone here just to chat to. And that doesn't mean I don't like come down to my room and like just want to be alone sometimes. But it is nice to be surrounded with people. My house is a house that is always loud, whether it's my parents, my sister, or my silver lab barking. There's always noise. And I honestly love it that way. And with friends, just kind of embracing random plans. I need to get better with this. This is me telling myself this. But like whenever I was working, like plans had to be very calculated, and like we don't want to be too hungover Sunday because then that day's shot, and then we work Monday, but then like Friday I'm too tired to do anything. Like, I don't know. Plans now just being more spontaneous, being more willing to do things for the people that you care about is something I want to try to do now that I don't have a job. Also, just embracing whatever your hobbies are. Now, I was hesitant to talk about this little tidbit because I don't really know what my hobbies are, guys. Like, I feel so basic. Like, I like working out and like cooking and walking outside. Like, yes, but those are hobbies that like benefit you. Like, I feel like a true hobby doesn't have like any strings or benefits attached to it. And I'm trying to find mine, guys. I'm really trying to find mine. And it's so funny because like I'm currently in the roommate hunting process, and people are like talking about what their hobbies are and their little bios. And I'm like, shoot, like what do I say my hobby is? I don't really know. I feel like I've been studying for my whole life and that's my hobby. But trying to figure out my hobby and just spending time on that. But with that comes spending a lot of time alone. And that's something I know not everyone's super comfortable with. I feel like deep down I am an extrovert and I get my energy off of other people, but I love to be alone as well, like just doing things alone. Like I don't know if I'd say like I love it and I like look forward to it, but I just do it a lot. So I've become used to it. And for a lot of people that can be hard. And I think it's something like every self-help influencer or whatever would say, like, learn how to spend time alone, And I agree with that. Like, I really do think it's important, especially when you're going to medical school. You need to figure out how to deal with yourself. Like, I feel like our whole lives, it's like, how do we deal with difficult people? How do we deal with someone who does this to us, someone who does that? But when it comes down to it, like, how do we deal with ourselves? How do we deal with how we react to things, how we interpret different situations? And I don't know. Spending time alone, in my opinion, has been really beneficial for me. But also, like, I can't really include it in this because it's just something I've always done and have not minded doing. But I definitely find that I'm doing it a lot more now. So with all of that, everyone, that I think is going to just wrap it up. This is how I am dealing with being a type A person without having anything to do, without a set routine. And I'm still trying to figure it out, not going to lie, still trying to figure out that, or just accept the fact that it's okay to not always have stuff to do, and really just enjoy this time, enjoy the little things in life, get my life together on the inside, just in terms of like your room and figuring out how to do my makeup better and my hair better and all that little stuff, and just getting excited for all the things that's coming up. But yeah, here we are. There's my little inside info to how a pre-med type A student handles boredom or handles any time without a routine in their life. But with that, thank you everyone so much for sticking around and listening. And I will be back next week for another episode of White Coat Chronicles with me. Okay, bye. Hi everyone. Little quick update because it's now Wednesday. I'm posting this podcast today, but today I just want to include, it was a big day. I went back to my job to pick up my check. I was so nervous. I feel like this was the last thing I needed to do to completely move on. And also I need to get my money. So I texted my coworker that's still there. I'm like, hey, I'm coming. She's like, did you tell the doctor? I'm like, nope. Can you please bring down my check for me? Because I'm a baby and I don't like confrontation with this woman in particular. So thank God she came down. We chatted, caught up. She was just telling me how things are going. And she was telling me how the doctor was basically saying that I need to grow up and that I'm a messy, messy person. And I was sick with coronavirus, then norovirus, and all these viruses, and that I guess that my coworker should be mad at me because I left her high and dry, when in reality, my coworker was very happy that I was quitting. I was very upset after hearing this, but we went to the gym, sprinted, walk, and did a lot of that. I think a lot of people were looking at me like I was furious after hearing all of this, but I just want to include this little tidbit. Like, I want to look back at this whole job, this whole experience, and a couple years from now, hopefully maybe a couple months from now, just be like, what were you doing? And it gives me even more motivation to be a great doctor. Okay, that's it. Now, bye.